The SMS Baden was one of the 4 Sachsen-class armored frigates of the German Imperial Navy. The ship was commissioned into the Imperial Navy in September 1883. She was armed with a main battery of 6 26cm guns with 2 open barrettes. The Sachsen class was the first group of capital ships built under the tenure of General Albrecht von Schosch. Schosch favored a coastal defense strategy for the German fleet. The Saxons were intended to operate from forded ports, from which they would sortie to attack blockading fleets. They proved to be controversial in service, as critics pointed out their poor seakeeping, tendency to roll in heavy seas, and low speeds compared to the early armored frigates. Baden was ordered by the Imperial Navy under the contract name C, which denoted that the vessel was a new addition to the fleet. She was built in the Imperial Dockyard in Kiel. Her keel was laid down in 1876 under Yard No. 4. The ship was launched on the 28th July of 1880 and commissioned into German fleet on the 24th of September 1883. Along with her sisters, Baden was the first large armored warship built for a German navy that relied entirely on engines for propulsion. Following her commission, Baden joined the fleet too late to participate in the fleet maneuvers that year. Baden served as the flagship for Rear Admiral Alexander von Montz during the 1884 fleet's maneuver. She was assigned to 1st Division alongside her 3 sisters. The ship was placed in reserve in 1885, but returned to active duty the following year for training exercises with the fleet. In June of 1887, Germany dedicated the Kaiser Wilhelm Canal. Baden was among the ships present during the celebration. In 1888, Baden returned to active duty to take part in the naval tour of the Baltic by the newly crowned Kaiser Wilhelm II. Rear Admiral Eduard Krah, the commander of the fleet, raised his flag aboard Baden during the voyage. The fleet stopped in St. Petersburg, Stockholm, and Copenhagen on the 17-day cruise. Baden ran aground in the harbors of both Stockholm and Copenhagen, but was not seriously damaged in neither incident. Baden also participated in the visit to Great Britain in August 1889, where Wilhelm II took part in the Coes Regatta. Baden and the rest of the fleet joined the Royal Navy in a fleet review for Queen Victoria. During the fleet maneuvers of 1890, Baden and the rest of the capital ships of 1st and 2nd Division simulated a Russian attack on Kiel. The exercise was held in conjunction with 9th Corps of the German Army, several divisions of which acted as a simulated amphibious invasion. Baden remained in 1st Division in 1891 when she was joined by the new coastal defense ship of Siegfried. During the 1891 maneuver, 1st Division generally fought on the German side against either Franco-Russians or Danish-Russian alliance. Baden was present for all of the fleet exercises in 1892 and 1893. The maneuvers of the early 1890s were generally disappointments, as the hostile forces were judged to be victors in the majority of the scenarios. By winter of 1894 to 1895, the last of the 4 Brandenburg-class battleships had been commissioned. These ships were assigned to the 1st Division, which displaced Baden and her 3 sisters to the 2nd Division. The 8 ships conducted training cruises over the winter and spring before conducting the annual autumn fleet exercises. On the 21st of June 1895, the Kaiser Wilhelm Canal was opened for traffic. 8 years after work had begun, Baden and her 3 sisters, along with dozens of other warships, attended the ceremonies. The major naval powers sent fleets to join the fleet reviews. The autumn 1895 maneuver simulated a high-speed battle between Divisions 1 and 2 in the North Sea, followed by combined maneuvers with the rest of the fleet in the Baltic. In 1896, the Baden went into dry dock in the Germania Werft dockyard in Kiel for extensive modernization. The ship's old wrought iron antique armor was replaced with new Krupp nickel steel armor. The 4 funnels were trunked into a large single funnel, and new engines were also installed, which increased the ship's speed to 14.9 kn. The ship's 8.7cm guns were replaced with fast-firing 8.8cm SKL-30 guns and 4 3.7cm autocannons. Work was complete in 1897. Baden remained with the fleet until 1910, at which point she was removed from active duty. She then served as a blockade and defense hulk after 1912. In 1920, she was converted into a large Stålgren. The ship was finally sold on the 23rd April of 1938, and broken up for scrap from 1939 to 1940 in Kiel. Elden Ring is a good game. Thank you.